My name is Sondra Aten, and our store is called Collective Clothing, and we've been in business for 6 years now, and we started off in St. Elmo, and we opened another store on Fraser Avenue, and then we moved it to this location. So we've had 3 different locations, and we've been in many different formats as far as what kind of stuff we carry, and our variety is always changing. So we're just kind of learning as we go. We moved here 10 years ago to Chattanooga from the Midwest, and we wanted to do it right away, but I was 20 then, so I didn't really know how to open a business, and so I kind of just became a hoarder, and I would just buy things knowing that one day this would happen and we'd have this store, but then I didn't have really an outlet for it. So what I'd do is every time I would be ready to open a business, I'd get down about it and second guess it, and then I'd go to Atlanta because there's shops there that will buy in clothes. So even if I didn't have a store to sell them in, I had outlets to sell them, So I was hoarding and then getting rid of it, and hoarding and getting rid of it, and then eventually we saw our first store in St. Elmo. There was a big police sign, and we drove by it, and we kept driving by it, and it kept staying empty, no one was in it, and we were okay, if we drive by it again and no one's in it yet, we're going to call the number and find out how much it is. And so we called them, and they were yeah, it's blah blah per month, and we're can we do this, So at the time I had just had a baby, and so we were new parents, and I had a full-time job, and luckily my husband was unemployed, so we could make it work, So I worked full-time and had a baby, and we opened the store.
What's the feeling whenever someone comes to you and they're looking for a certain thing, and then you find it and give it to them?
It's awesome. It actually just happened the other day. Someone was asking for something, and that same day I found it, and it was the perfect thing for them. I guess our biggest failure would be just trying to figure out what our place in Chattanooga is exactly. So we started off doing a buy-in and trade kind of thing with people, and that was really cool, and I really enjoyed doing it, but we just didn't turn enough of our items around to make it really work in this city. It would work in a bigger city where people are buying more, but in Chattanooga it was really hard to pull off because a lot of things we'd bring in would just kind of sit, and it'd be kind of stagnant. And so the rotation of what was coming in wasn't very steady. But now I feel we've kind of got it down to the science. We can bring stuff in, and we know it's going to do well. Stansberry is going to be a urban market. It's going to have around 80 vendors, and so essentially what it is, it's kind of like an antique mall where different booths are featuring different people's stuff. So we're going to try to carry as much vintage clothing, because they classify vintage as the 70s and before. But we're allowed to have 20% of our booth is allowed to be whatever we want it to be, and then the other 80% has to be stuff from the 70s or before. So it'll be interesting because this store is kind of a hodgepodge of every time period. We don't really, if we like it, we bring it in here, even if it's something that just came out, a Forever 21 shirt or something. So we don't have any limitations with this store, but with that one we'll have a little bit more limitations on what we can carry.
5, 6, 7, 8, I'm trying to keep my head on straight and down. 5, 6, 7, 8, you always got your head on straight, I know. You're looking for me now.
Sorry.